Welcome to Bali, to the land of gods and demons, to the land of new beginnings, of fertile ground for beautiful projects, the place of great personal changes and transformations, and of course the land of wash and go hair. We'll be having today my first training about Ming herbs, and we have a wonderful group of motivated participants, most of who I met at the very recent Conscious Business Startup Camp. Meet Jane, David, and Christian, and then we have Joe, our precious designer, and who has her heart and soul for the Ming herbs. And special thanks for being present is to Sumi, our assistant and manager of the whole production and sales in Bali. Probably thanks to her you first learned about our herbs. And we have Jero, our precious new staff, because our production and sales and presentation in Bali are constantly growing, so we are increasing our rows. And this is my friend from Latvia who is here to do some workaway projects related to the Ming Herbs company. Here's me, Anita, one of the main culprits of this line happening, and an important part of our family business, Ming Herbs. Here today I have a couple of intentions, and one of them is to present the line a little bit of how it happened and why we're here. And then I would like to show you how you can put these herbs together in real programs which can change health, both yours and the one of the people you work with. It's based on Hang's long years of knowledge, like gaining knowledge in the field. Hang is the creator of the formulas, and he's been a practitioner for now already 19 years, worked with really capable naturopaths, and he discovered this talent in himself to put together herbs intuitively in formulas which really work, considering the aspects of the herbs in their chemical qualities and also the energetic combination of them, because he's a very intuitive therapist who can feel how things should be put together. Hang is my husband, and we have two precious children together, and we moved to Bali 5 years ago. And our little side gig was to put a couple of formulas which we used for treating his clients at that time. We put them in the store first time 5 years ago. Put them in the store on consignment, and from there it started to grow. And now we have these 30, how many formulas?
So now we have 35 total.
Thank you. So we have these 35 formulas, which you can see there. And Hang is planning on 3 new ones which he has already envisioned, and we do not know how it's going to grow. Our main idea is to put together really effective herbs from the whole world. We source our raw ingredients mostly from Java, they're local then, Indonesia. And there's some organic Ayurvedic herbs which come from India. And then we have a really great partner in China, a producer of herbal extracts from like most of herbs which are available in the world. The quality is very high. They go through constant controls in terms of heavy metals and other stuff. As much as possible, we choose organic or wild herbs. Sometimes it's not possible for practical reasons, otherwise we would be out of stock most of the time, which we want to avoid. But those herbs are really strong, so that does not really matter at the end of the day. And we use a lot of 10-to-1 extracts and stronger, combined with herbs, pure herbal powders. We never use any fillers. And as we do the capping manually, we're lucky to not be using any magnesium stearate, which is usually used to oil the machines, the capping machines. We have our long-term Indonesian staff, Samsul and Yuli, a couple again. They work in the production, which is also here in Bali, and every day they mix the powders and they produce the capsules and they hand seal them in these craft paper bags. That's a little bit about the herbs. And yes, I'll be presenting the line. First of all, I'll be asking you, have you been taking herbal programs? Have you taken herbal programs before?
I've been taking the colon cleanse and the colon cleanse plus. I just started taking and I've definitely noticed the results. I haven't done a full program yet. I'm kind of working.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress.
In a work in progress, yeah. I mean, it takes time to get used to it, because sometimes if you have all those herbs sitting there on the shelf and there's just no habit of popping those caps in your mouth and drinking water on top of them, I mean, they won't work. Sorry, they won't. You got to really be motivated to go through a program, and sometimes you'll have to deal with like taking 25 of them twice a day and then some 3-4 in between. But that's how it works. You need material to build a body. Every cell consists of little molecules, and every organ needs support in the way that it's being nourished, technically being nourished. From food, from herbs, from the fresh air and good water that we take, but it's all material. It's all that our body consists of, is built of. Yeah, we'll be talking today of how to put together herbal programs and why to use them, as many at a time. First, I also want to mention about nutrition. So we have really covered this matter in just a short few sentences. Look, I've been blessed in this life to have beginnings which set me up for a whole journey in regards to health. Like in every way, emotional, physical, energetic. I've had to work on it constantly, non-stop, since basically, before I could work on it, my parents were working on it. I was not a healthy child, simple. Now I am a healthy person, very much so, and my health is improving by year, by month, and I see my years reversing, if you want. It's just like, it's the matter of how you take care of your body. And that's two things. It's the motivation, maybe the circumstances which set you up for it. I mean, you are sort of pushed in a corner. If you don't do nothing, you'll have your consequences. So maybe you'll have your terminal disease at an early age, doesn't matter. Also, motivation is important. Yeah, I mentioned that, right? And then there's just one more thing, consistency. You really have to work on it. You gotta do exercise, you gotta work on your diet, you just have to stay with it, and you have to learn about your body, from how you feel. You gotta listen to your body and find out. So I want to talk about the diet. There is one important thing to mention. You got to take what your body needs. And you're born in a certain place, your genetics carry certain information. What your grandma ate and the parents of hers and a little bit before than that is probably something you would be good, like keeping close to that diet. And then you can experiment, because maybe grandma didn't find out just about everything. The most important thing is to remain listening to your body. There's a big hazard of buying into a certain diet which has been found out by somebody somewhere in his or her circumstances, which worked for him or her, and then it may have been made generalized, and then you would follow that. It's important to follow what your body needs. You're individual, you're different. There's very many factors which make you different from that person. The blood group and the genetic background and the climate you live in and your predispositions, like weaknesses in the body. You have to consider all of those and address your body the way everything gets covered. Which is a bit universal, which you can add everywhere. Well, I just leave what I'm talking, right? Water. This is my water bottle. I opted for that water bottle instead of filling the glass because I'll be talking and need it next to me. And actually I need a couple of sips right now and I'll just take them. Well, ideally, in Balinese climate, a person of my height would need 3.5 to 4 liters of water a day. And that makes about a glass an hour, which is actually doable if you take it that way. I refill those bottles, have them everywhere, put it in my bag, put it next to me when I talk. Remember to take some water. It doesn't work immediately if you haven't drunk water, if you had only 2 liters a day or less, which is the case of most of us probably. That habit will take 21 days to develop. For 21 days you'll have to remind yourself to drink water. Any habit takes 21 days to develop. That's how long it takes for information to enter our subconscious. After that your body will ask for water. It will now. It just will remind you, you won't have to remind yourself. And the other thing is lots of fruits of different kinds. Local fruits, like in Germany we have berries and apples and pears and plums, right? In Bali we have dragon fruits, jackfruits, durians, avocados of course, watermelon, pomelo. Take the local fruits, ideally sun-ripened, ripened, ideally organic. If not, take what you can find. Take those imported tangerines and bananas. Just have a lot of fruits and have them all year round. And well, this is my breakfast, which will last until 12 p.m. This is a smoothie, a fruit smoothie. Here in Bali, we do use a lot of jackfruit and mango and some bananas, and we usually make it on the base of coconut water, fresh coconut water. But you see, as I'm really listening to what my body needs, at this moment, my body needs, what do you call it, microflora, healthy bacteria. So I've taken some nice milk. I've made some yogurt out of it, and then that got separated into raw cheese and what do you call this? The water that stays over. It's called fermented, like
Cultures?
the cultures. Yes, but it's not buttermilk. Is the anyway, the one that you get from yogurt after you put it through a cheesecloth. Yes, so that's the ingredient of my drink, and I really like it. I enjoy it, and I'll be sipping it until 12 p.m. and then I'll take something else. So fruits and water, you can't go wrong with those, and herbs. In China, in Chinese tradition, you'll have these broths of herbs, like really black and intense and like almost thick, which have been cooked for 6 to 7 hours, which really have that material inside. And you'll be drinking that for your health, and that's a very healthy nation, you know. And well, nowadays, of course, we get a bit sidetracked into the modern ways, but that tradition has like that culture has tradition of longevity, and they're doing good in every way, you know. And they're actually taking over the world in some ways, and well, let it be the capable ones, for goodness sakes, why not? They worked on their gene with the herbs for many, many centuries. These are the things you can really be sure they're good for you. Then about meat, about fish, find out what your body needs. There are certain blood groups which cannot digest meat and fish so well. I did the experiment of being a vegetarian for 16 years. I can tell you a lot about that. When my health started deteriorating, I made the conclusion that something was wrong about the diet, and I started going vegan. And then I started going raw, and I tried many different things, but I never got the idea that I could do with lacking nutrients. And the typical vegetarian diet is a big bowl of salad and a big piece of cake or ice cream, a lot of sweets, because people crave sweets when their body is craving nutrients. That's normal. And that leads to a lot of health problems. I mean, with these pure carbs, like the nutrients are being washed out of our cells, virtually. What you stay with is acidic inner environment, which is depleted. So your body starts taking the nutrients out of your own hair, your own skin, your own bones, and call it premature aging. I mean, when you have hair falling out at the age of 35 because of poor nutrition and weakened kidneys, kidney energy, because of stress, whichever stress you're going through, it's a bad thing, you know. And usually you cannot really replenish it by popping those synthetic minerals. It doesn't work that way. No. It's important to work on the base. You really have what you need. So very often it is that you do need meat and you do need fish. And you don't have to eat pork, please. I mean, there's a lot of other meats. It's chicken. There's really precious fish, especially in Bali. There's a lot of precious fish. A lot of imports, yes, from all over the world. You can get anything anywhere usually nowadays, even in Ubud, where we live, a little village in the middle of the island. And it's important to avoid those white sugars and white flour and quick carbs as such. White rice, you call it, you name it. It's better to eat whole foods. A lot of veggies. You can find out in the internet a lot. You can educate yourself about which foods are nutrient rich and which are nutrient poor, which create acidity, which create alkaline environments. You want to go alkaline and well nourished. That's the base of your nutrition. How often you eat, how you cook your food, yeah, it's better not to overcook it. Fast food is not good for you. Deep fried things will not give you the nutritional value you're looking for, although they're satisfying because of the fat content. Just look for what you need, and if you have cravings, we understand that if we want a cake, it's maybe not what the body really needs right now. Sometimes it could be, but not always. Or cravings for fats, cravings for salt, it's all the ways of your body communicating something to you. I'll mention later. I'll go in more detail later. So first have a good base, and then another thing to have together for as a daily habit is times of relaxation, times of just being, without doing, without thinking, without having the mobile phone in your hand, the handphone, without watching TV or being among friends, or having discussions or thinking about something. Just times where you can relax, lay back and be, and best if you can be with nature. She has the way of nourishing yourself, like she has the way of really embracing you and nurturing you with all her good energies, and she can also take away the waste that you created during the day or that got attached to you in your journeys. That's very simple. Go out in the nature and just be there. Slow walking is great. A little activity that's rhythmical, like one foot and the other. Have a swim. Do a couple of sit-ups. Your body, well, these times of relaxation are important, and then your body needs movement. It's very important. Nowadays we don't get enough of it. I mean, even if you sit on top of the motorbike the whole day, it's not enough movement, it's not enough physical exercise. Think again of the grandma and her parents. They went out to the field and they were working long hours. In my country, they were working sun to sun, they say, from early morning, from the sunrise to late at night, and people were really healthy. And that was the case. We don't have the luxury now. We sit in our offices, we have a lot of mental jobs and deadlines and we on it, but we do not move. The lymph, the blood, not get circulating, there's not enough oxygen circulation in the body, not enough oxygen supply to our vital organs, just not enough movement, very simple. So daily exercise, preferably in the fresh air, that's a part of it. You gotta get your lymph moving. I'll tell later about the lymph, but you gotta get your lymph moving. And I've started to do this daily exercise, you call it paida. You can slap your body with your hand. Yeah, pukul, like I tell to the Indonesian farmers when they're very surprised at what I'm doing there in the rice fields. But what I do, I have this bamboo little broom, which I use to pukul myself. And then, well, the Chinese use a stick that activates the bone marrow, which produces the red blood cells and keeps you young forever. I do not use a stick, it's not so sexy for me. I use a broom. I make it softer or harder depending on which part of my body I want to pukul, paida. So something. You can jump on the trampoline, you can do light jogging. Light jogging good in good shoes on soft surface, remember that, don't ruin your joints. But something that will get your lymph moving, it's important, every day, but every day. And it doesn't have to be long, 15 minutes, half an hour, but do it every day. And that's about the base, physical base of health, and there's more of other things. There'll be a little break now. I feel we've covered a really big segment of human health.